So after he was discharged from the hospital in September, because he was discharged in September, and before that because he was very tiny, I didn't even want my closest friend to come and see, because I'm gonna say I don't want to say I was ashamed, but I didn't know what they would think, and I don't want to be judged. So I'm always kind of avoiding visits from them and all that. So I was always keeping to myself. And you know, the fact that I was young, I was 21, pregnant, having a baby, and it's not even a normal baby, it's a tiny baby and all that. So that put me off from my friends, but they were always there, always there. I remember Edwin one time, we almost had a fight because he wanted to force himself to come to the hospital to see the baby, and I said to him no, but he didn't understand why I was saying no, because I was ashamed. Not ashamed of the baby, but I just didn't want, I don't know, I was young, I just didn't know what to expect. So anyway, we were discharged, and before we left the hospital, they taught me how to change because he came home with oxygen, because his lungs just did not grow, so he had to use the oxygen. He needed a little bit of help with the oxygen, so we brought him home with oxygen. I remember bringing him home that night was just like Christmas for me. I was very happy. We was just excited. And this time around, you know, I was having some little issues with accommodation and all that, but that didn't even bother me. I just wanted my baby home. So he came home, you know, I was ready for the other challenge, because obviously they've told me his development is going to be very slow. It's gonna need help. We're gonna be going for visits to the doctors and all that. So it all started. So by the time he was at home, I think it was about 4 months, or yeah, about that time. And we started. I thought it was gonna be easy, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Going out with a premature baby with oxygen on the nose was a big deal. I was young, so I felt like everybody was always looking at me, everybody was always judging me, and it got to a point like I didn't want to come out of the house. I would just stay indoors and all that, but I was always happy to be with him. He was always a fighter. He was always like progressing. Oh, I forgot to mention, even when he was in the hospital, he was like some nurses in the hospital, because there are other babies there as well. So if there's a development in them, they always like to like a little competition thing. Not competition, but like I'll show you. Like when, like 20 days after he was born, when my house got flooded, so when my house got flooded with water, the water must have destroyed there's a frame that I kept with all the certificate he got when he was in the hospital. So this is one of it. So they gave him this one saying congratulations on reaching 1 kg, and this was on the 27th. This was like 20 days after he was born. So you always get all these little certificate thing. And there was one time, I don't know what he did, but there was this woman, he knitted, like they measured him and she knitted this cardigan, and I remember I used to wear this for him in the hospital then when he was in his incubator. So I kept this as well. Oh god. So I framed it, but what happened in my, I don't want to talk about that, but those were his little present he used to get then. So when he was at home, he was also a fighter. We had nurses he had his nurse that used to come around. Very nice lady. You know, Jordan was just a fighter. He was a fighter. He was always fighting. So it was this time, because I was reserved. I didn't want to associate myself with other people. I was scared of going to church and all that. So one day I just had the courage. I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, because it was too much. Like, having a child with oxygen, it was just too much for just me. Then I had help from his dad, but it was just not the life I wanted. So I kept praying to God. I was like, God, if this child is supposed to be here, God, can he not have oxygen? If you want him to live, I don't want him to live. We've grown up, we've not been able to breathe on his own. It was just very difficult. And I felt like people were judging, or people were looking. I might put him in a buggy and people will look through in the buggy and be like, oh, he's so cute, he's so tiny. And I was like, God, like sometimes I just want to punch them and say, leave me alone. So I always vent to God. Like I always shout. I'm like, God, please, can you heal him? So one day I took him to church. And that was the first time, and I felt like I hated myself doing that. I started getting special treatment, because then I had oxygen, and you know, everybody was treating me special, and I didn't want that. I just prayed. I was just like, I held him up like with the oxygen, and I remember one woman standing next to me. I held him up and I was like, God, please take him, because I can't deal with this anymore. I was praying, I was shouting, and the woman just came to me. She was an elderly woman. She just collected him and she's like, don't worry, he will be fine. And I just looked at the woman. I was like, what are you saying? The doctor said he's going to be like this. He's gonna have the oxygen all his life, because they're not seeing progress. And that's not even everything. That he might even have learning difficulties. Like, this is what I have to deal with the rest of my life. She was like, they are not God, are they? And I just looked at her, I was like, okay. This time I was already, it's already past my birthday, so I was already like 22. So because of what that woman said, it gave me the courage. So every time we are home, I'm not saying people should do this, so this is what I did. I would always, like, in my head, I don't know what I was doing, I would try to take the oxygen out of his nose, and I would say, God, now I've put him in your hand, God, heal him. So I'll let him stay without using the oxygen, so let him breathe on his own. I'm going to try and insert some videos while we're in the house. If I can find some, I will. Like, I'll leave him there, I'll be talking to him, I'll be playing with him, just for him to learn to breathe on his own, and I'll put it back. The doctors, they were not aware that I was doing all this. The nurses comes and I think that we used to do something like they call sleep study. God, you know those machine in the hospital that do t t t, they have the little one, so they'll would in the night will strap one thing on his leg or his hand to monitor how he's breathing, and that thing can make noise. God, imagine that hospital thing in your house. So maybe if it wiggles around, or if the reading is not right, the thing will make noise. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. After a while, like, let me just say, after a week or 2 weeks after I started taking the oxygen off his nose gradually, then all of a sudden the nurses they didn't even come on more. They just called me after they've done the sleep study. They just called me and said, oh mom, we think Jordan might not need the oxygen again, take it off. I couldn't believe it. They said I should take it off. They didn't come and take it off. They didn't come and assess this. They said I should take it off. I was so happy. I think it was around January, because we left hospital September. Yeah, January. That was when he stopped using that oxygen. And we're like, oh, that's not hope, because you know it's still young. We don't know if how it's going to develop, or you're going to be going to children hospital every 3 months for checkup. You know, normal routine we always do, but it was not as big as what it was supposed to look like as a child. So I usually use because my friend around that time was when Adrian also had a child. So Adrian has Maya. So Maya was born in September, Jordan was born in June. So I used to like, you know, like compare, like obviously Jordan is older, but Jordan was small, like compared to Maya back then. If I have some pictures, I might try and insert it. But Jordan was very small, but he had a big attitude. Like, he's small, but you would be like, who is this child? I remember one time my sister took Jordan to the hair salon, and this time he was already like maybe like 1, and he was already walking. So someone was like, look at this child, he's just so stylish and he's walking. So that woman, the person must have thought he was a baby, maybe like 9 months old. My sister was like, oh yeah, it's my baby, it's a premature child. And everybody looked at him like, this was what my sister said, like everybody looked at him like, what, premature? One, like he was small. Like when he walked past you were like, who is this child? I'll try and send some pictures of him when he was a child. He was young, he was smart for his age, he was always talking, but like you would now know he was a premature baby. And I remember we only went for the you know, went to the children's hospital once, and they discharged him. They said he's developing well, that we should come back when he's 2. You know, that's when they develop, when they start talking. And when we went, they said there's nothing, that he's growing like what a normal 2 years old will be, but it's just his stature that is small. And that didn't bother me. Jordan was talking, Jordan was doing everything at his age. At 3, you know, he started catching up on his height. I'm not gonna lie, even if you're watching this, I'm sure most people do it, I compare him and Maya, like the heights, but Maya was taller than him. And you know, he started nursery reception, is it nursery or reception, age 3. I was a bit worried because I felt like, you know, he's starting school, all the kids are gonna bully him in school because he's short. But no, that was the style of his class. Even though he was short, because he was smart, he talks, he's very aware. You would no one ever think that he was premature, except when I say, oh, Jordan is born premature. So he was the youngest in his class, but he was the smartest in his class. So he was very active, helpful, always talking, and you know, a lot of things happen. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, when I'm a very workaholic, not workaholic, but I just don't like not to do anything. I decided to put him in nursery. I felt like the nursery also helped, which is the childminder. He started when he was, I think, before his 1st birthday. I took him there, and Jordan developed so well. I think there's some videos of him when he was in a childminder. I'll try and insert it also. Jordan has just been a big miracle baby for me, and up till now I still look at him and I'm like, wow, was this that tiny baby that I thought would not make it? Like, even till now it still baffles me. He acts like a grown-up even though he's a baby, even though he's a child. So I don't know, that's why I named him Jomiloju Oluwa. I remember that name was Jomiloju means God surprise. Jomiloju means God surprised me, because I was like, God, I don't know how this baby is going to survive. Like, what? It was so tiny. So every time he's done something very, very annoying, I'm like, Jomiloju, like, surprise me. And he has been a surprising child. No one, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling now, but on the 7th of June 2017, I'm planning a surprise birthday party for him. He's not aware. Jordan is a sweet boy. I didn't have enough fun, as in I didn't have enough money to do this birthday, and I didn't even have it in mind I was gonna do this birthday for him. But I was one day, he said to me, oh mommy, I would like a birthday party, and I was like, oh Jordan, I don't have money. He was like, oh, it's okay mommy. And he didn't talk about it anymore. And I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be 5. He's been my rock, he's been everything to me. He's made me know me, he's added more wisdom and more knowledge to my life, just him alone. So a couple of months ago, I've been planning this birthday, and he's not aware. I'm not even giving him any hints. I'm going to invite his friend. It's not a big party, it's just going to be in the living room, and I will be showing you guys the preparation. So this video should be up on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and I don't know how. So this week is going to be a serial, like I'm dedicating this whole week for him. I'm sure the first video is live on Monday. This is the second one on Tuesday. On Wednesday, there's gonna be something about him, and on Thursday is his birthday, and the party is on Saturday. So Jordan, anytime you're watching this, I'm very proud of you. I don't want to cry in this video. I'm very, very proud to be your mom, and I'm so grateful that God kept you. Even though from the beginning it was not easy, but God has a purpose in your life, and God had a reason for putting you in my life, because you have made me a strong person. Not only you giving me the title of a mom, but you've made me rebuild myself as a person, and you've also have so much impact on other people. Anywhere Jordan goes to, you will know Jordan has been here, because people, oh, your baby is so cute, your boy is so smart, your boy is like, I'm just so proud of you, Jordan. I'm so super proud of you. Anyways, I'm gonna go now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. Oh my God.
What's wrong? Are you crying?
No. I've got hay fever. It's not